Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. So as you guys know, we just had the first I Am There Circus series. We had a 1K yesterday, and honestly, I'm very surprised. The turnout was pretty good. We had 80 players sign up. It was basically $10 entry because you had to be a member of our party member tier or higher. You could be honestly any one of these tiers. If you were any one of these tiers, you obviously have access to play in the tournament. Most people obviously just chose the party member tier. You get access to that tournament as well as other perks that you guys can read here on patreon.com. But yeah, we had 80 players show up for that event. It was an online event and really went well. Shout out to Not Asta for being my judge for the event. I appreciate you. You had to handle a lot of judge calls. I know that being a TO, being a judge is often a thankless job, especially for the online type of stuff. So, you know, I was able to compensate him for his work. It was like I think the stream was 8 hours. You guys can also see the stream on the channel, so that is going to be there if you want to rewatch the VOD. Me, Stango, and Kenny all were commentating honestly the whole day, and I didn't expect Kenny to come in, but it was nice. He did commentate from work, so his audio was a little janky at times, but we worked it out and it was really fun. We had a lot of fun watching amazing duels. We got to see some of the best players in the entire format. I mean, as you can see, like Samuel Pisteno here, who's definitely one of the most prolific players at Edison. He was featured on stream a couple times. Chess Prime ended up winning the whole thing. This is definitely officially, like, in my opinion, the best Gigavice player in the world currently, and I think they're going to keep tearing it up with that deck because they honestly understand, you know, on a higher level. But today I do want to go over the top 8 deck list from the event. Just something really quick. I don't want to take up too much of your time, and then we can have like further discussions down the road. But yeah, today I just want to go over top 8 deck list, and without further ado, why don't we get into that? Okay, so first up we have Tamer, and this is top 8. I actually have every single deck list in this. I literally created this account strictly for the purpose of the 1K. So every single person who entered their deck list is actually in here because I just wanted to make sure that all the deck lists were like fine and know what was entering the tournament, all that good stuff. But yeah, every single person's deck list I have in here. Again, we're just going to go over the top 8. So starting off with Tamer, who played GBs, is Prisma Glads. This deck, honestly, like I said, Glads are one of my top 5 decks. The breakdown also, just to be clear, the breakdown for top 8 was 2 Gladbees decks, 2 Value decks, 2 Hero Frogs, and 2 Gigavice, which is so interesting. Like, Edison is obviously one of the most diverse formats that there is, but I also love how different it can be. Like sometimes you get Blackwings and Lightsworn and, you know, Machina, and this event just happened to be like 4 different decks, 2 of each. Like that's just so random that happened, but that's how it is. Tournament to tournament, the results change so much. Some tournaments you get dominated by birds, some tournaments get dominated by frogs, some tournaments get dominated by random stuff. But this tournament was like equally in top 8, 2, 2, 2, 2. So this is the Prisma Glad Beast deck by Tamer. And honestly, everything seems correct to me. Like double Prisma makes sense. Double Test Tiger, I will say when I play Prisma Glads, I typically like playing Stratos just because Stratos is such a good starter and it actually helps to beat over Grepher turn 1. That's one of the things I really like about it, but this is fine. I like that it's also 40 cards. A lot of times when we see Gladbees decks these days, they are over 40 cards. So it's interesting to just see like you can play anywhere from 40 to like, and you're going to see this later, you can play like 40 to 46 cards and still be successful. But yeah, shout out to Tamer for getting top 8 at the first I Am There Circus series and winning some cash. Okay, next up we have Mamezuku Rai, who played Vayu Turbo, 40 card list. This is actually kind of virus Vayu because it plays the Eradicator Epidemic virus, double deck Devi, and then they're also playing Elfin the Raven, which you don't see this unless they're playing this card usually. Although I do think there is merit to this guy because if you're in the Frog matchup and they have a Monarch on the field, you can Grepher pitch, send this thing, or if you have this in your hand, send this from your hand. And this makes Armor Master immediately. And I think that being able to beat over a Monarch without having to do Plague Spreader Zombie and make Goyo and all of that is really strong against frogs. So, and I've been saying this for a while, I'm surprised that more Value people don't just play Elfin the Raven for that interaction alone. Like I actually think that Grepher being able to go into an immediate Armor Master instead of going into the 2300 monster, which doesn't beat Monarchs, makes a lot of sense to me. But yeah, this is virus Value. And 40 cards, top 8. Most Value decks at this point are standardized. Like they usually play around 36 of the same cards, and then they have like 4 or 5 tech choices. But for the most part, like you guys have seen the Value Turbo list, you know what they look like. So let's move on. Okay, another list in top 8, you have Spore, which is Gigavice. So this is one of 2 Gigavice lists, and 10 monsters. I think this is now the standard for this deck. Every time I see the list, I think they all play like this exact top row of monsters right here. So yeah, 10 monsters, everything checks out there. And then in terms of traps, the only card that I really question when I see this is Trap Dust Shoot, because to me, this deck just needs to survive long enough to see its combo, and it just needs to push through back row. I don't necessarily know if Trap Dust Shoot helps with that. Like, you could argue that it helps you to survive, but I also don't want to draw this card when your opponent is beating you down the way people beat down combo decks. People usually get very aggro against combo decks, and unless you open this card, it's really bad to draw it off the top. Like, I don't ever want to see this past turn 1 in this particular deck, I feel like. So I feel like this is a card that if you really want to play it, I would just side deck it, if anything. But other than that, I think the list is fine. And there is a decision that Chess Prime, the winner of this tournament, made with their build that we'll see that I do think makes a bit more sense than the Trap Dust Shoot. But I do love the side deck plan that has been developing for Gigavice. So I thought that Gigavice would get solved in the main deck more. And I had this deck in my tier list. I had it as the second best deck in the format. And I said that what I mean by second best deck in the format is not necessarily where it is right now, but where I see it in the future. And I think that we're getting closer and closer to there. But what I want to speak to is that I think the side deck for this is what's really pushing it over the edge now. Because before, I don't really know how the side deck was built, but I do know that it didn't have UFO Turtle and a bunch of breakers like it does now. And these cards are literally insane in games 2 and 3, and that's why this deck I think is doing so well. Also, the people who play it a lot know how to side deck with it, and most people don't. And that proprietary information of knowing how to side deck with Gigavice is so important, because it's honestly what carried me a lot with Hero Frogs. I know how to side deck with Hero Frogs. I was one of the first people to really figure out like a really good side deck plan for it, and that has never been public. So it's able to repeat that success over and over and over again. And now we're seeing that with Spore and Chess Prime. Spore just recently got 3rd place, I believe, at a major. The last Deck Devastators, I believe, they got really high placing at that event. So I think the side deck for this deck is getting solved more. The main deck is relatively the same across events. Like you have the 7 equip spells. Like all of these cards in the main deck, I'm used to seeing except maybe Dust Shoot. The rest of these, like the Wing Blast, the Mirror Force Torrential, all that stuff. Like I'm used to seeing all of these. Maybe the Bottomless and the Dust Shoot are like the 2 cards that I'm not used to seeing. And the side deck has just changed so drastically now from January, when this deck really premiered and getting its first top in an Ultimate Time Wizard, its first major. Marcus, LOL, and I forget the other guy's name, but there were 2 Gigavice decks at Orlando YCS this year. That was the first event of the year, or like the first YCS event of the year. And that's when Gigavice really got put on the map. And ever since then, it's been kind of like wishy-washy on results. But I feel like it's been getting better and better over time, and I think the side deck is attributed to that. All right, and for our last deck that is tied for 5th in top 8, we have Samuel Pasteno. So this guy really needs no introduction, but in case you're living under a rock, he is one of the most prolific players in the entire Edison community. He's won several tournaments. I believe he's won now 2 Deck Devastators. He won Edison Worlds and Format Library in 2023. He almost won again last year in 2024. I was streaming that event. He also topped RBET Rulers and Edison Worlds for Format Library in the same like month. Like I think they both happened in the same month, like in November last year, and he was in top 8 of both of them. And I believe like maybe 2 different decks. But yeah, this guy's insane. He's really, really good. And I am just a fan of really good gameplay, which I like seeing whenever I watch his matches. Usually it is him coming back from a situation that looks like there's no way you're winning this game, or him just absolutely shitting on his opponent. This is his build. He changes his build all the time. Sometimes he plays 1 Deck Dev, sometimes he plays 2. He mains Solemn. I don't think he's played without this card. I know this is a contentious card in value, but yeah, his build usually is 40 cards, and this is like his standard list. I think this list is perfectly fine. There's no Charger Light Brigade in it. Like I said, it's a value deck at the end of the day. The main deck and side deck, all like these are all standard choices. 36 of these cards are in every single value deck, and there's like 4 tech choices, so the usual. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, so now we are in top 4 and we have Hero Frogs by Cold Madness. Cold Madness is an RBET champion from last year. I think that they won that event with Value Turbo. They've since been playing a lot of Hero Frogs and they are doing something just slightly different from a lot of other people. So they're playing Malicious, right? But they're also choosing to play Infernal Prodigy. And he's been talking about this a lot in the Edison format Discord server about how adding this one Prodigy has helped a lot. Like, it really helps to cook. I love this card. You guys know I play the 5 heroes. So I play Ocean, Alias, Infernal Prodigy, Malicious, Edge, and Stratos. Infernal Prodigy to me is insane because unlike Malicious, on turn 1, if you draw Infernal Prodigy and you have Substitute, you can just like full combo, like immediately Prodigy, summon Toad, and set up a dupe block and you don't lose any cards. You didn't play, it's not like when you play 1 for 1 or whatever, you don't go minus at all when you do this. I also like that this guy draws a card with Malicious Edge, and I also like that this guy is access to a tribute summon without having Treeborn. So if you don't have Treeborn and you have this in your hand, or Stratos searches this, if they kill the Stratos with, like, let's say Sirocco, Card Trooper, Gale, whatever, you can follow up immediately next turn to go special tribute for Caius, and that is really strong. We see this with Diva Hero a lot. This is one of like the best ways to burst out a Monarch, and it's one of the best cards when you just do not have Treeborn access, which will happen 20% of the time. You will see Treeborn access in your opening hand in 4 out of 5 games, and then in 1 out of 5 games, which is 20%, you will not. And so hopefully when that happens, you have at least Stratos because you're playing like Ecall, Rhoda, Stratos, so you play 3 Stratos. So yeah, good math on this. This deck has a lot of starters. It's one of the reasons why Hero Frogs is one of the best decks. The top 4, I believe, is 2 Hero Frogs, 1 Gigavice, and 1 GBs. So both Hero Frog decks that make it into top 4, and this is the first one, so shout out to Cold Madness. In terms of side deck, Mobius, interesting. I don't really care for this card. I did try siding it once, and I got absolutely fucking destroyed by Blackwings when I had it in my hand, and it just left a really bad taste in my mouth. I think when I tried to summon it, I got pulling the rug or something, and I was like, all right, like, I get it. I remember losing, I lost the Whirlwind, and I remember saying I wish this was just a Dust Tornado because I had taken out 1 Dust Tornado to side this. Just how you see these 2 Dust Tornadoes here, I was like, I wish I just had a 3rd Dust Tornado because I would have been able to win that game because the Whirlwind just stayed. And when I tried to summon Mobius, I remember he solemned it, and that fucking sucked. And I was like, all right, like I wish that this was just a different card because then I could go Dust Tornado, and if they go Solemn that, then I go Caius because I had multiple. I had the Mobius and I had a Caius, and I was like, okay, I can choose one of these and summon. I'm going to summon the Mobius because he had a face down back row and a Black Whirlwind, so I'm going to go with the Mobius here. And I got Solemn, and I was like, see, if I had Dust Tornado, I'd have been able to go Dust Tornado, hit one, and then Caius hit the other, right? So yeah, that is kind of how I feel. I don't really care for this card, basically, is what I'm saying. I've tried it. I know other people have had success with it. Doesn't work for me. I do like that it's a water monster, so at the very least you can discard it with Swap Frog, and then technically you can Miracle Fusion it away. But other than that, not really the biggest fan. Maybe this card got better though if people are going to be playing water art. Like, I could see that being more of a thing, but still, like, I don't know. I'm just not really a fan, so going to leave that where it is. And a lot of Hero Frog players are now playing Fossil Dyna. I'm not mad at this either. This is just a faster Vanity's Fiend that has a really good effect if you set it right. Like, it's Regeki against special summons, so against all plant decks that set effect is really good because Titanium doesn't negate it. But other than that, yeah, this is a pretty solid Hero Frog list. They are playing Dupe Frogs. I guess I have to say that now too. Like, they are playing Dupe Frogs for what it's worth. But yeah, shout out to Cold Madness. Okay, for our other top 4 deck, we have this 46 card Glad Beast deck by Guari. Guari is somebody who loves and hates Edison format. He has a lot of interesting takes and stuff about how he feels. Frogs, birds, I get it. Like, not everybody wants to play those decks or play against those decks all day, but Edison definitely has, a tier list, and most people do just go by what performs the best. So there's a lot of frogs and birds, and in this tournament that was the case as well. Anyways, so this build here is playing Icarus Attack, and it's playing 3 Equest and Bestiary, and it's playing 3 Proving Grounds. So this is going to be live very often, and if they get off 1 attack with a GB, then they can just tag into one of these 4 Winged Beast monsters. I like this idea. We've seen this before in the past, but I don't think anyone's done it recently. So interesting to see it done now. 2 copies of Hedgeguard. This is like a Wabaku, but it only works on 1 attack for 1 monster, but basically you discard it from your hand and that monster just survives that battle. Very interesting card. Other than that, the interesting thing that he plays is a copy of Morphing Jar, which we did see on stream resolve like literally 3 times, and it won that set for him too. Like, I would honestly say that the Morphing Jar cooked. I'm pretty sure it was against Mame Mamezuku Rai, who also got top 8. I'm pretty sure it was against them, and this Morphing Jar just kept getting flipped against Vayu, and eventually the Vayu player literally decked out. Like, they actually got decked out by GBs, not to mention that Guari's list is playing 46 cards, so he's never decking out, no matter what the fuck happens, right? So yeah, really cool. Triple Book of Moon, which they already normally play. Like, this is already a part of the deck, so you can kind of see how this and this together would be obnoxious, and we saw it multiple times on stream. I don't really have any critiques of this list. I think it's fine. It's a Glad Beast deck. I think Glad Beasts are one of the top 5 decks in the format, and yeah, pretty solid. Siding into like Test Tigers and Secutor. I guess against this makes sense if you're siding this against Frogs, because Frogs are more often than not open to attacks, so you can get this off easily. Like, this entire, what, 5 cards right here, Dust Shoot, 3 Tiger, Secutor makes sense against Frogs. And then against like Black Wings and Vayu and the mirror match, because I saw this in the mirror match too, he sides in the Sirokkos, which makes sense because you're playing extra attack. This deck is actually well thought out. The more I stare at it, the more I'm realizing like it has a lot of synergies, and the Sirokkos in the side deck with the Icarus attacks that you already are maining makes a lot of sense. I'm not surprised that Guari got really far with this. 46 cards is crazy, but again, a lot of people have been doing well with decks that are over 40 cards, and specifically Glad Beasts often do well with like 43, 42, whatever. So not really going to get into the whole like 40, 46, 41, whatever. Like, play however many cards you think your deck needs to be successful. Guari got top 4, got money, and yeah, shout out to him. Congrats for that. And in second place, we have the Dupeless Hero Frog deck. This is, I want to say, like the exact list that the Chicago crew made. The Nick Wagner, Dirk Wagner, and RJ, like, it's their exact deck list that they used to top YCS Houston. I want to say Nationals, right? Like Indianapolis this year. I'm pretty sure this is the exact deck list with no changes. Like, I don't see anything that stands out as like a change. They're not playing Junk Synchron. There are no dupes. There's no 1-for-1. There's no enemy controllers. There's no soul exchange. It's just all business. Yeah, really, really small monster package, 20 monsters, which for Frogs is on the lower end. Usually Frogs play like anywhere from 22 to like 24 monsters, because, you know, you add the dupe Frogs in, you add a Uni Frog in, you add a Junk Synchron in, and you can see how the monster count can climb a bit. But yeah, this is a really condensed list, triple upstart. Yeah, everything about this is fine. Like, I don't have any real gripes with it. It's been successful for a while now. It keeps getting very far in tournaments too. Like, it often gets second place, as weird as that is to say, but like it gets second pretty often, which is, that's good. Like, that is good. You're at some point it's just going to win, right? Like, at some point it's going to break that ceiling and just win an event. But this tournament, the finals was really brutal. Like if you want to watch that VOD, it was quick. You can actually probably watch the entire finals in like 10 minutes. Honestly, it was brutal. But yeah, shout out to Seba for getting second place. This is also one of the renowned Frog players in the format too online. I'm pretty sure that they won a Pico de Beak this year, which is a major as well in Format Libraries Discord server. So those always have like over 100 people, and they bring out a lot of the best players in the format as well to play in that event. I'm pretty sure Seba won like maybe the last Pico de Beak actually. So shout out to them for consistently doing well with Hero Frogs. And now on to the champion. So here we have Chess Prime's deck list. And remember when we saw Spore's deck list, Spore was maining Dust Shoot in the bottom list. Chess Prime is playing Trap Stuns in that spot. And I actually think, especially if you watched the stream and you saw the duels, the Trap Stuns made a huge difference. In fact, we saw a Water Art get Trap Dust Shooted. So then the Frog player just lost a Dupe Frog and a Spiritual Water Art and got nothing for it. And then like Trap Stun happened. And also what's crazy is that the Trap Stun was flipped on Chess Prime's turn, because the Water Art was flipped on their turn. So they got to play that entire turn technically with no traps. I don't think they ended up doing anything that turn, like they didn't pop off, but it would have been crazy to go Trap Stun your Water Art and then also combo off in the same turn. That would have been max value, but I think that just Trap Stunning a Deck Devi, Trap Stunning an Icarus attack, Trap Stunning a Water Art are all insane interactions to have. So this card is broken. This card actually randomly topped a lot this tournament. Like the GB decks were playing it, and now you have the Gigavice deck that won ended up playing it. Also Upstart, both decks in the finals played Upstart. This is completely anecdotal evidence though, right guys? Like, I'm not saying that you need to play Upstart Goblin or anything like that, but it is interesting that the only 2 players using, I guess there was another Gigavice player that's using Upstart, but 2 of the 3 players in top 8 who are using Upstart Goblin made it to the finals. Do with that what you will. But yeah, the other thing I'm noticing is there is a monster missing from here, because usually it's 10 monsters, right? So wait, let me check Spore's deck. Oh, it's double Dandelion. So Chess Prime only plays one Dandelion and Spore play two, and I'm pretty sure most Gigavice lists play two of this card. So this might be a small thing that has increased the win rate or consistency of this deck as well. Maybe just playing one of this is all you need, and it allows you to play Solemn. I'm also noticing that, yeah, they play Solemn Judgment as well. So 2 Trap Stuns and Solemn, Mirror Force Torrential, Triple Wing Blast. So these 5 traps are like staple at this point. These 3 are the ones that are not necessarily staple because people are doing well without these, but maybe these are what's pushing Chess's deck over the edge and making it that much better. Not to mention, as I said this before, I think this side deck is so crucial to this deck's success because games 2 and 3, which you do play more games 2 and 3 than you do games 1, this is where things get hard, and people side in Fossil Dynas against this deck, and you know, a bunch of other annoying cards. Mask of Restrict, I see people side against this deck. Royal Oppression, Breaker deals with Royal Oppression. Breaker deals with a lot of the ignorant things, like you can break a back row and then attack over Fossil Dyna. This card also deals with Fossil Dyna. It can beat Fossil Dyna in battle, and if you set it against Fossil Dyna, it can't even beat this monster in battle, which is actually kind of crazy. So this card is insane. It also touches out Lone Fire Blossom. We got to see this on stream be really good. I'm pretty sure at one point Chess had like UFO Turtle, and then on the following turn they summoned Breaker, popped a Royal Oppression in the back row, which 100% would have been a problem later on, and we're able to like win that game. So yeah, this package right here has been really strong for this deck, and then Triple Crow for other combo decks, you know, Forgs, Frogs, whatever. And then you have just a 3rd Trap Stun, Bottomless for Black Wings, which is one of their worst matchups for sure. Double Book of Moon, this is really good too. We got to see this be used against Absolute Zero a couple times. It also can be used on Vanity's Fiend or Fossil Dyna. If you didn't know, Book of Moon on Absolute Zero is really strong because 1, Zero does not activate if he leaves the field face down. So like if a Zero is face down and it gets destroyed by Icarus attack or something, or it gets destroyed by, or sent to the graveyard by Darkened Dragon's effect or whatever, right? Like anything that sends it from the field somewhere else, it does not activate while it is face down. And so we got to see that on stream. This deck in particular, what it does is it puts the Zero face down and then it just makes Stardust Dragon and runs it over, which is really broken, because this is one of the best Stardust decks in the format. Like it can make Stardust very easily, and so having the Book of Moon Stardust combo against Absolute Zero is really strong. It's one of the only things that really like fucks Zero up pretty badly. Like Book of Moon is one of those cards. You need more than just the Book of Moon, right? But in a deck like this, where you're already kind of doing the most, Book of Moon makes sense because you're just like, okay, that card is going to be a problem. That Fossil Dyna, that Vanity's Fiend, that Zero is going to be a problem. I'm going to put it face down and I'll deal with it with my really powerful combo. But yeah, shout out to Chess Prime for winning this event. They did take home a payout of $400. Second place got $200, third and fourth got $100, and top 8 got $50 each. So this is a $1,000 tournament. This is a 1K. And technically it was a $10 entry. So everyone who played in it, you know, signed up for the party member tier at some point. Some people were already on it because some people are just like on our Patreon to support. And there's other benefits that come with being on the party member or higher tier anyway. But we did have 80 players. So we were able to give out, you know, a bunch of money for this event. I want to do more of these types of things because this brings me a lot of joy. I prefer spectating and streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! More than I like playing it. I've said this multiple times. This is like really the thing that I enjoyed the most, is just, you know, watching Yu-Gi-Oh, spectating it. Way more fun to me, interacting with the chat. You guys were awesome yesterday, and we continue to receive support. We can continue to hold big events like this. I want to break 100 players, because if we break 100 players, at that point it's a major, right? So like we'll officially be holding Edison majors. I do think that this is one of the most competitive tournaments ever though. Like this event was 80 people, but it was some of the absolute best players in the format. Like I'm just going to scroll this list of some of the people who entered. So like I said, Spore recently got 3rd place at a major. Mamizuku Rai has topped events. Guari has topped, and I believe won an event, like an RBET. Not necessarily RBET, it was a really big charity tournament, I want to say, back in the day. But they won that. I feel like with Hero Frogs, they were playing like Triple Infernal Prodigy, Triple Malicious Edge. Very interesting build back then. Seba just won a major. Chess Prime has been topping all year. Samuel Pistano, I already gave this guy a bunch of accolades. Hydro Pump has also won before. Dragon Turbo, Connoisseur. Cold Madness won an RBT. GYBU consistently does well. Leo Baca won a major in Europe. Diego won a major this year with Frog OTK online. Tristan got top 8 at an Ultimate Time Wizard. 10-Foot Dick has won an RBET and also has topped many times in the past. Sir Blumpkin got second in the RBET last year. And then, you know, a bunch of Ricky, like War League guy, really, really good duelist, raw neck, one of the best frog players in the world. Chai T won the Attack of the Giant card on Sunday at YCS Houston, one of my favorite people also. Tim Ponce recently just got top 16 at the RBET in Indianapolis. Plays Junk Frogs. We had him on Teach Me How to Cook. Joshua Johnson has been doing well with GBs, getting multiple tops this year as well with that deck. Dom dominates my server tournaments all the time. He's also topped multiple YCS in the past. Ryan Knight recently has been topping with his Pure Lightsworn deck. And you know, the list goes on. Like, there's a ton of people here. There's so many: Swifty, Pudding, Nextastic, Scrub for Life, etc., etc. Like, you guys get it. There's a bunch of talent in this tournament. So yeah, this was really fun. It was 7 rounds of Swiss. It was a cut the top 8, and Chess Prime took the whole thing down. Also, we now have coverage for this event. So this is on Format Library officially. So Chess Prime won I Am There Circus Series Edison 1K on August 17th with a rogue deck, Gigavice. If you click on this, it actually gives you the top 8 decks, and it gives you a breakdown of, like, you know, the representation. And like I said, there were 2 of each deck in top 8. So you can see, like, here, you can download the decks too. So if you click on these, right, you get an actual picture of the deck, but then if you click the download right here, you can bring it into your dueling book if you want to try these decks out. So that's something that I really, really enjoy. And you can click on people's names and, like, see their accolades and stuff. Not everything will be listed here, but a lot of it will be here. But you can see I Am Nerd Circus Series 1, they have first place for that. Flame 01 first place, another first place for this tournament, and there's just like a bunch of their accolades are here. So if they topped or did anything, you can kind of see a player's like history in the format or whatnot. But yeah, really cool. Really, really cool. Again, shout out to Chess Prime. Shout out to everybody who played. We are going to be doing a second 1K in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. We'll make like an announcement and put a little video at the beginning of our weekly videos just to advertise it and give you guys enough time to get yourselves ready for that. But we will be doing this again. And thank you for all the support. I cannot say that enough. Like, I really, really appreciate every single person who has signed up for Patreon, who has just been supporting the channel, saying how much they love the videos, they love the content. Edison is a great format, and I want multiple people to play it. I want more people to play it. And a lot of people tell me that they got into the event because of my channel, and that means a lot to me. So yeah, I appreciate every single one of you. And with that being said, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.